event. Was speaking to the media on Tuesday, Ambassador Judy Andy, a champion for the advocacy of peace and justice in Liberia, expressed dismay in the decision by the government. She claimed that the government took the decision without consulting her and her legal team. The country ambassador accused the legal advisor to the president, Councillor Bujuben Keita, of instructing the court to drop her case. Ambassador Andy has meanwhile has rallied Liberians to join her in getting justice, adding she's baffled by the fact that the court attributed its decision to her inability to provide evidence to her claims, even though they did not make any request of such. Mines and Energy Minister designate Raymond Pay has outlined plans to tackle what he calls man-made poverty in Liberia despite the presence of abundant mineral resources. Facing the Senate Committee on Land, Mines and Energy for his public confirmation hearing on Wednesday, Pay said decide for the country to pose billions of dollars worth of natural resources while the citizens still suffer. The former Unity Party chairman promised that if confirmed, he will finalize the draft amendment to the Mineral and Mining Law of 2000, review and update the 2010 Mineral Policy of Liberia, as well as update the National Energy Policy of 2009. The presidential nominee emphasized that the areas earlier mentioned are where the main issues are found relative to the construction operators across the country. At the same time, Raymond Pay said his administration will establish mineral and energy sector working groups to speed up the small-scale mining sector in the country, noting that he will also review energy regulatory frameworks and increase domestic power generation capacities. Meanwhile, the Mines and Energy Minister designate recounted that over the last 20 years, the country's annual budget has about between 800 million and less than 700 million, while operators in the mineral sector have reaped billions of dollars from diamond and gold exports. Fed believes if the proper policy measures were instituted, revenue for this metallic mineral alone will have financed the country's annual budget over the last 6 years. Commenting on the country's hydrocarbon potential, Women Pay stressed the need to move swiftly to end the exploration phase, indicating that the nation must take custody of the CMEC data. Pay has meanwhile warned that officials of the Ministry of Mines and Energy cannot be engaged in mining activities, stating they cannot be the referees and players at the same time. The acting executive director of the Environmental Protection Agency is proposing the construction of a new headquarters for the EPA that will be environmentally friendly. Dr. Emmanuel Japaworo lamented that the current home of the agency does not represent the institution. As such, his administration has begun making proposals to build a safe and green headquarters for the EPA. The newly appointed EPA boss noted that the current facility that is hosting the EPA is an expensive private property that is rented by the government of Liberia. It disclosed that the money being used to rent the building currently occupied by the EPA could be used to build a decent headquarters for the entity. Speaking Wednesday at the end of a two-day stakeholder dialogue with the Global Environment Facility, Dr. Japawolo, in a frustrating tone, describes the current home of the EPA as dilapidated and does not represent the institution. Dr. Emmanuel Japawolo said he has followed all of the concerns raised by participants of the conference, ranging from protecting international waters, creating protected areas using regulation, amongst others. But one major thing the entity needs not to forget about is to have a new headquarters for the Environmental Protection Agency of the country. The dialogue brought together participants from over 38 institutions from government-like ministries, agencies and commissions, non-governmental institutions, civil society organizations, community members, academic and research institutions, the private sector as well as donor panels. The Global Involvement Facility is a multilateral environmental fund that provides grants and blended finance for projects related to biodiversity, climate change, international waters, land degradation, persistent organic pollutants, create sustainable forest management, food security, and sustainable cities in developing countries. The Chancellor of the Harvard Intercontinental American University, Bishop Dr. Darlington Johnson, said the university was established in Liberia to provide quality education. Dr. Johnson continued that their goal is for Harvard University to become a powerful resource partner for businesses in Liberia, asserting that you will comprise 5 colleges offering degrees in business and entrepreneurship, education, science, technology, liberal arts, and humanity and theology. He revealed that the institution, which is expected to commence academic activities in October 2024, is committed to making sure students develop an entrepreneurial mindset to be suited for creating jobs irrespective of their fields. Also speaking, Ambassador Jutumu Moses Tunkola, who proxy for the Director General of the National Commission on Higher Education, Dr. Edward Wonkayo, asserted that the Harvest Intercontinental American University has been authorized to operate for the first 4 years. He added that the university will reapply after the 4 years for the status of accreditation, and approved programs will be researched to determine the university's fitness for food that's accreditation. The Association of Professional Foresters of Liberia has described the appointment of Rudolph Merab as managing director of the Forestry Development Authority as illegal and contrary to President Joseph Boakai's promise to uphold the rule of law. A press release issued by the association alleged that Merab holds a degree in physics and not forestry, as it may have been displayed in the public. The release quotes the group of foresters as saying, "Doide that established the FDA mandates that the institution's managing director must hold a degree in forestry and not any discipline." The release added that the president's decision to appoint Marab is the repeat of some of the decisions of former President George Weah, which speaks volume that Liberia is far from experiencing change. The foresters lamented that President Joseph Boakai is treading on the old path of former President George Weah, who in 2018 appointed Mark Doyen as managing director of the FDA. The release noted that because Doyen had a bachelor's degree in political science and not in forestry, so the institution operating at very low, slow pace due to his lack of knowledge in the sector. At the same time, the group is calling on President Joseph Boakai to revoke or recall Marek nomination in the best interest of the sector and the country. The Grand Bazaar Detachment of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency has arrested 29-year-old Philemon Reeves with huge quantity of heroin valued about 160,000 Liberian dollars. Russia Grand Bazaar County correspondent quoted the arresting officer Daniel Joe as saying the suspect was arrested in the Equatorial Palm Oil construction area along with 4 accomplices, including his pregnant girlfriend. Daniel Joe disclosed that he got a tip-off from an informer, which eventually led him to effectuate the arrest. For his part, suspect Philemon narrated that he has been trading in illicit substances for survival. He further explained to reporters that these substances are normally purchased from Monrovia and transported to Bassa for business purposes. It can be recalled President Joseph Walker, during his State of the Nation address, declared drugs as a public health emergency. In another development, citizens in Grand Bassa County are expressing mixed views on the appointment of former Senator Jonathan Kapi as Buchanan Port manager. Our correspondent quoted some of the citizens as saying the job is a demotion for the former senator while others are called on former Senator Kapi to accept the position as a means of serving his country and not necessary for the job title or the salary. And in foreign development, Senegal's Justice Minister Issata Tossor has announced the release of nearly 400 protesters from prison. They were arrested and imprisoned during the political demonstrations of March 2021 and June 2023. Ms. Soyd did not indicate whether opposition leader Usman Sonko and presidential candidate Bashir Diomaye Faye will be released. The BBC quotes her as saying this is not a mass release. These are cases that are studied on a case-by-case basis according to the elements in the field. Well, the news bulletin in detail to end the recap of the top stories. 5 persons are dead and several others made homeless as a result of a major fire disaster in Dupotro. Liberia's Cultural Ambassador Julie Ndi leads a protest at the executive mansion demanding justice in the case involving her and Justin Opayezian, alias Perfeki. Mines and Energy Minister Destiny Wimonpe allows plans to tackle what he calls man-made poverty in Liberia despite the presence of abundant mineral resources. And off the home front, Senegal's Justice Minister Issata Tossor announced the release of nearly 400 protesters from prison. As RCR News Bulletin, Augustine Sa, good evening.
Starting today, why not have a little more fun? Why not use money this easily? Why not get even closer to family? Why not work how you've always wanted? Fun, money, family, work. No network keeps you connected to it all, quite like Orange. It's all about what matters to you. Orange.
I would like to fund my account at any time, even here.
Right here, right now.
Here too!
Without moving an inch.
Here would be just perfect.
Henceforth, send money to your Orange Money account from your bank account and vice versa directly from your mobile phone. A simple and fast solution that is always available to ensure a permanent access to your Orange Money services. Anywhere, anytime, send money to your Orange Money account from your bank account from your mobile phone to cash out, to recharge, to transfer, to pay, to buy. To subscribe to this service, go to your bank branch office, partner to the Orange Money service. It's all about what matters to you. Orange.